Okay guys, let's start. It's almost quarter past 7. It's time to start. Well, my name is Martina Burjanová. I've been preparing the presentation in Czech, so it might take a bit longer till I make up my mind to express myself in English. Well, I work for a Czech company called Experta. I'm an automatization tester. I write scripts in Python which click on web pages, so they test their functionality. But what is interesting that 6 months ago that I didn't know that Python existed. I just managed to learn a lot in 6 months, and I'm going to present to you some of the receipts, some ways I used to learn Python and to, let's say, change my career in a very substantial way. Let's say I'm going to talk about my motivation, why I did it. I'm going to speak about Digital Academy organized by Čekytas. I'm going to speak about Python Anywhere, YouTube, about korespondenční seminars informatiky, and about my experience I had during job interview. Okay, let's talk about my motivation. A year ago, I was very tired. I've been working. I had a function of deputy mayor of one village, 15 kilometers from Brno. It was a lot of work. Březina, which is the name of the village, looked horrible. But we did really a lot of great work. I wrote a lot of subsidy requests and I gained most of them. So we invested a lot of money in Březina and it's pretty visible now. However, the work as a deputy mayor is very exhausting. There are constantly people complaining about something. So we had the reconstruction of the road in our village, and we got to know that there is a group of people complaining that the road is too black. Can you imagine that the road was too black? So I was quite exhausted and I was thinking, what shall I do next? It's actually a year ago when I attended a Čekytas course of PHP. And I found it very interesting, and actually I felt again that I could get back to a corporate company actually, or a company where I could use sort of IT skills. Because before I had kids, I used to work for corporate companies. I earned money by speaking Dutch. But I didn't want to do that again, so I was searching for another ways how to employ myself, and I thought IT would be a great option. Yeah, because there's always enough jobs within the IT branch, because the work is more interesting, at least for me. When I was the deputy mayor, I didn't need my brain that much. Yeah, but I like puzzles, I like dealing with puzzles, and programming is in fact solving puzzles. And of course I wanted to earn more money, because we all want more money, and I wanted to have time for my family as well. When I was the deputy mayor, I worked over the day. In the evenings there were usually meetings, and at weekends I organized a lot of events in the village. I had almost no free weekends, because I was constantly organizing something. I was setting up a kindergarten. I was doing really a lot. Nowadays, I'm done at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I go home and I've got free weekends, and I'm also more motivated to do things at home, and so I'm really glad that I made this change. Okay, so how to start? Basically what you need is to learn syntax. So you need to learn how the comments look like. You need to do exercises, you need to program a lot. you need to learn something extra because Python is not an island, so you need some more technical knowledge in order to be able to work for a company, and then you must get a job somewhere and get more experience to get in touch with some other technical, interesting technical stuff, so you know more and your value at the labor market grows. And you need to learn something constantly, and you will get more. How I learned the commands. I learned the commands at the Digital Academy of Čekytas, which is a Czech NGO that is supporting women in IT. Okay, there are mostly men. So you cannot attend any Čekytas class, but you can still do this Úvod do Python, because Čekytas prepared an online course. The course is done by my Python teacher, Katka Brabcová, which is the best teacher I know for Python. And you can surely see it on the internet. Just look up Čekytas on the internet. And there is also another NGO, PyLadies, and PyLadies have also some materials on internet which are just freely accessible, so you can read through them. They are meant also for people who learn at home. I basically think that a teacher is better than just to sit at home and watch some videos on YouTube. Yeah. When we were at the Digital Academy, we were a group of 35 women, and we were supporting each other. We were speaking about our problems with projects we had to prepare, and we were supporting each other. We were laughing at problems of each other. So that was great. Check it out, this Digital Academy course of 3 weeks was actually great. I really did not know that Python existed. I did not expect much from the Digital Academy of Čekytas. I just knew that it would help me to find a work in IT, which I wanted. So I knew that there was SQL, I didn't know Power BI, and I didn't know Python at all. But I think during the second class of Python, I just discovered when I was 15, I was programming in C and Pascal. And I was really good at it. And I found it very, very, very interesting activity. As I said, for me, programming is solving puzzles. So check the web pages of Čekytas and PyLadies if you want to see some materials. They are very nice. YouTube and Google are great helpers when learning Python or any other programming languages. My favorite author is Corey Schaefer. Corey Schaefer is the best one. I got to know Corey Schaefer when I was told that for our project at the Digital Academy we needed to learn regular expressions. I was searching on internet, what the fuck are regular expressions? It was horrible, it looked horrible. And then I found Corey Schaefer's video on regular expressions, and from that day, regular expressions is the easiest thing in programming ever. Really. Now, he's great. He explains some isolated, let's say, comments. Like he's got a video about dictionaries, about strings, about integers and floats, and he explains it in a very, very good way. So check Corey Schaefer, and he's got also series of videos. He's got series about Flask and Django. Actually, at the Digital Academy, our project was a web page compiling information about non-traditional kindergartens. Doesn't matter what it is. For now, important is that we were making the web page in Flask. So I've seen many videos about Flask, and actually Corey Schaefer and Pretty Printed, and Max Goodrich, they were very fine. They were very fine, and I managed my project because of Cory Schiffer. So, yeah. Stack Overflow. You know that when you get a mistake in your code, you look up the mistake, or you Google the mistake. Basically, you find to Stack Overflow, and the more you program, the better you know which answer to choose, and you can read the answers. So really, you must practice. You should not think about dictionaries, for instance, about dictionaries, how to get the value out of the dictionary. You should think of your algorithms and how to say it in Python. Okay. When you're programming, when you're making a web page, you need the hosting. I like creating web pages, so was really glad. I was told that there is Python Anywhere. It's for free. Some basic version is for free. You can make there a Flask or a Django web page. You have there MySQL databases, so you can even practice MySQL command line database, and you can practice there you can practice there Linux within Bash console, which is also very useful. Yeah. So check Python Anywhere. It's great tool. It's great tool for playing with Python. Okay. This is more for Czech speakers. It's great. It's called Korespondenční seminář z informatiky. It's organized by the Masaryk University. It's for students of high schools. Well, we are not students of high schools anymore, but it doesn't matter because these classes on internet are just great. It's like a game. It's like a game. You got a room. You can start here if you're a beginner, or you can start here if you feel like more experienced, and you just go through these tasks. It's a game, so you cannot do these tasks if you don't complete this task. And it's fun. The tasks, some of them are more theoretical. So one of them, there was a lot about asymptotická složitost. I've got no clue how to say it in English. And some of them are more practical. Let's switch. Yeah. So that's for instance how one such tasks look like. They are not easy. Some of them are easy, but they are mostly not easy. Surprisingly, if students of high school should write it, but they are challenging. They are challenging. If you do not know that there is a tab, discussion. If you really do not know what to do, you can write the question, and they will answer you. I posted their questions on the 23rd of December in the evening, and they replied me the 24th of December in the morning. So I guess the organizers are very enthusiastic. That's how their editor looks like. I usually wrote it in Sublime, and I copied it within the editor, and then I clicked on run, and behind that web page they run even more tests. So it happened to me quite often that my solution was refused because it was not good enough, because it didn't pass any test. And then I wrote, I sent a question to the organizers, okay, what should I do? And they checked my last version, they could see it, and they give me a small hint what I should do, what I should do. So really the organizers are very good, it's very well prepared. It's fun. These tasks are challenging, so I really recommend to check it and to have fun with it. They focus a lot on recursion. So if you do not know what recursion is, you must see it. Okay. As I said, Python is not an isolated island. You need to learn something more. I think that you must you must come to the object-oriented programming. I think if you want to be a good programmer, you must know it. You must know it. Otherwise you cannot go to any company. You should learn Linux, you will have to learn Git, SQL databases if you like, how to HTML. I like the pages, so I like HTML. You should know, for instance, what app is, API. I will tell you a joke before we jump to job interviews. I've been, I don't know, at 5 job interviews. Some companies did not even call me or write an email to me because I had no real IT experience in my CV. So I was not good enough to even make a phone call to me or write an email to me like, not interested. And once I was at one company, I made sort of a good impression. So they sent me a test. And I was very self-confident about myself because I was doing this correspondenční seminars informatiky, which was quite difficult. And they, really, and they sent me a test. It was Monday morning, and I opened the test, and there was something like, implement a method within the class. I was like, no. And I just couldn't look it up. I thought, well, I will have to learn it, these object things. So I wrote to the company, well, I just don't know how to do it. And I spent that morning or in the afternoon by learning object-oriented programming, by learning classes and methods. And the next day I went to my company I work for now. It was the second round already, and it was kind of examination. I was standing in front of a board. I had to again implement a method within a class, and that day I programmed it well and I got a job. Or it was so you must be very well prepared, and then you will be lucky and you will get the job and you will get paid. So the more you learn, the better. The more you learn, better. I learned some Linux coincidentally when I was trying to get to Red Hat as well. But at the end, it was very good when I was speaking about it at the job interview. I knew some Linux. Well, I used like 4 commands, but I knew some Linux. Just to say, I work now with Linux. This is Ubuntu computer, and I work with Docker. I love Linux, so let's keep it that way. My experience from job interviews, I was writing tests which were testing syntax. So I had usually Jupyter notebook open, and I was writing the syntax tasks within the Jupyter notebook. I could see the result immediately. So syntax tests were easy. Again, sometimes I got a task to implement. Okay, I just do it once, but sometimes I got to program functions. Well, I had once a very good feeling from a test I wrote, and the next day they called to me and said, well, we are looking for someone more experienced. You have no experience in your C. So I was disappointed. What I discovered, you should wear a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. You should not wear anything special, because the IT culture is like this. You should wear jeans. If you come to a job interview and your boss comes in a pair of jeans and t-shirt, he might not feel or she might not feel very comfortable because you just look a bit better or something like that. So jeans and t-shirt is fine, really. I haven't worn a skirt on any of the job interviews, never, because if you're an IT specialist or whatever programmer, you don't have time to buy any clothes. You sit at home at the computer, you program during day, during night, every day. So what is introduce, I could speak about my project. I prepared for Chiquitas, which was very good. And what was even better, to use these power words like Flask, Django, API, Git, Linux. And if you use these words, they got a feeling that you know what you're speaking about. That you're the person who should get the job. Well, it's good to speak about things you really did. You know, so I did all these actually, surprisingly. That's the last slide of my presentation. The company I'm working for is looking for people who are enthusiasts and will be glad to deal with some complications when developing, let's say, machine learning, robot, focusing on quality check of production. If you're interested in any of these weird technologies, just send me an email and I will send your CV to our HR and we can share the post if you're accepted. Any questions? Was fast? No, yes. Was too fast? Was no fun? No. Yes.
I don't have a question, but
Yeah.
I just want to say that I really appreciate that you are really brave to take this chance and work so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's very good. I'm really glad I did it. I'm really glad because my life changed a lot. As I said, at 3 o'clock I'm done and I go home. The work is quite interesting. For me, I'm using my brain, I'm dealing with those puzzles. Monday, Tuesday, this week at work were again a bit exhausting. There were too many challenges. But at the end, I must say, I'm really glad I did this. Yeah. Well, programming is, I don't know, like 80% corrected mistakes in your code. It's frustrating sometimes, but the feeling when it finally works is so great that at the end I must say that I really like programming. Yeah. And if you have the same, you should learn Python or any other programming language. It's fun. It's fun. Yes.
You do something about Jupyter Notebook. What is that?
It's a kind of application. You just write your code, just look it up, you install it in your Python, and you type the code and you see the result immediately.
Like in terminal?
No, it's a web interface. It has a web interface.
It's Linux distribution. So it's separate.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been always wondering, how do you deal with libraries? Like Python have a lot of libraries and
Yes.
you have to learn something new.
Yeah, it's like learning a foreign language.
Yeah, but how does it function with your work? How do you
For instance, on Monday I had to program a script. I had to write a script that would combine some postman collections, and I did it with requests library Python. So I had to learn it. I had to look it up.
So you spend time for learning something, or you learn just while you work?
I learn mostly while I work, and if I don't know, I have to look it up. It's part of my work. Yes.
Let's say I'm an absolute beginner and I don't know anything about programming,
Yeah.
and you have only 1 to 3 sentences to explain to me how do I start.
You look up the Check It As webpage, you open the video made made by Katka Brabcová, and you just see the video. That's the very beginning.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes?
I see many beginners. I actually even taught some classes about
Yeah.
like beginning with
Yeah.
Python or
Yeah.
R, and I see people like going with so first few lessons, and then they feel overwhelmed by by all of those things that they feel they need to learn to really get a job. I've never been to Check It Out, so maybe
Yeah.
Check It Out is special. And I wanted to ask, like, if you take your digital academic class or
Yeah.
Check It Out class,
Uh-huh.
like, how many of you that start it are now working with the ITE? And what do you think is the key differentiator to to stay on the way and to really finish the way and find the good thing?
No. Digital Academy was focused on data analysis. Therefore, we were learning these data models, Power BI and SQL. And I discovered that Python was so much interesting that I really wanted to program in Python. So I'm afraid that most people just don't fall in love with Python, and they stay somewhere on the halfway. I don't know how much I spent with Python, a lot. Really, it was a lot, and I think most of my colleagues did not do it. Yeah. However, I don't have any information now about what portion of women really change their career path and work now in IT.
Okay, thank you.
Question
Yeah.
here. Will those slides be shared somewhere?
I
or-
guess so.
Okay.
I don't know where, but I guess they will be shared.
What is the link to the? I was interested in that correspondence course, whatever it was.
It's KC Muni. Here it is.
Okay, so
It's great.
Google, I guess.
Yeah, it's great. These tasks are really challenging. It's not easy. You will find it funny. So I remember I was walking in the forest with my dog, and I was constantly thinking, how will I do this? What shall I do? I remember I was generating permutations and variations with recursion. Was I think the worst part of it. And I was programming this variation without repetition, I guess, and I was programming it every day, and I could not resolve it. And I just stopped for 1 week or 10 days, and then I just tried again, and somehow it went well, so I resolved it. So it's very interesting. For me, I really like it. I really like programming, dealing with the puzzles. You must have it in yourself. You must find it amusing and funny to start with it. Yeah. Yes.
So you mentioned you were preparing this presentation in Czech,
Yeah.
but then you switched to English just effortlessly. How important is that for getting a job in IT?
Actually, when I was having this job interview in my current company, I didn't speak English at all. But whenever I write a comment in the code, I must write it in English. Whenever I write a message in Git, when I'm sending my work to Git, I have to write it in English. Whenever I look up error on the internet, I need English. So it's really substantial to speak English. Without English, you cannot learn, you cannot look up stuff. So you must speak English. Maybe not on a very, very high level, but still you must speak English. Yes?
One more question. You said you work with a lot of various things in Linux. And a lot of like programs and really big bunch of software you control there. How did when you started with like IT and computers, what again this?
Again, well, when I was, I think like 14 or 15, I was in high school and we had this, let's say, we had a seminar with some other students. We were 3 or 4 people, and we were having classes with one older student who studied maths. He was a mathematical genius, and we spent afternoons at school dealing with programs or writing programs. I think if Google and YouTube existed 20 years ago, when it was, I would not stop with programming, but it did not exist at the time, so I could not look up much information. I would have to ask. I felt a bit embarrassed, I think, that time, because the guys were better than me. Younger boys were better than me, and I found it stupid to ask. So that was the first one. My father is a programmer, so, and mathematician, and then I studied economics, and I studied political science, and actually then after school I went to these corporate companies, and I did somehow work related to IT, actually, somehow, because I was good at it. It was easy for me, so I was dealing with databases, I was doing some setup of internet applications, so I did always something. When I had kids, I learned how to make web pages. That was also it's very funny to make web pages. So I liked it. You must like it if you want to do it. Otherwise, do something else. Yes.
What was the level of experience with Linux requested on the interviews?
Well, this Red Hat test required a lot, but I did not know much. But they didn't test my, well, yes, once they tested my Linux knowledge. My current manager asked me and said, what is Symlink? Because in my experience, if you know what Symlink is, you know Linux. And I was like, I did not know, and then I looked it up. So if you know Symlink, your Linux is good enough. You know Symlink.
Can I have one more question to this
Yeah.
correspondence international?
Yes.
I just went online and it said it's for high school.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm a bit past the
Doesn't matter. When I was registering for that, I was still in the year of my A-level. I wrote 2001. Nothing happens. You just
comment?
you can.
It's a competition for the high school students, so you can win, I don't know, admission to the university if you're a high school student, but you can do the challenges yourself.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yes.
What was the position you applied for at Red Hat?
I don't remember it anymore. I think it was something with Django. Django was also very challenging. Django is more complicated than Flash. It was challenging. I like databases, so if it's database, then it's good. Yes.
What's your position now?
I am a quality specialist. Basically, I am an automation tester. I write scripts in Python which test web pages, which click on web pages and checks whether the web page works as expected. That's one thing. Another thing is that I correct the Postman scripts. So I had to learn JavaScript a bit as well. That's what I do. Or last week I was generating 43,000 of users within one web application. I thought it was enough, but today I got the task to create extra 30,000 again. So I'm creating users right now with Python script. Yes.
Did you also apply for positions that you don't fulfill all the requirements?
Yeah. Yes, but as I said, most companies did not reply me at all. They found it silly that I applied for a position in IT without any previous IT experience. Some more questions, maybe? No. Yes.
Does it affect your regular life, like the thinking of the programming, like writing books and such? Does it affect your regular life, like you change your way of thinking?
No, I think not. I think I was always a programmer in my life. Yeah. I studied at 2 universities at the same time. I had to organize my time a lot, really. So I was organizing something, thinking of effective solutions or something. It's way of life, yeah. Programming is a way of life. Yes.
So you're Python program 6 months?
Did
I got you wrong?
I don't know. I started at the end of October, I think. So, yeah, 5 months.
Half a year. And you said 80% of the time
Is
spent
correcting
programming
mistakes.
is correcting mistakes. I would agree.
Yeah.
So when do you start to learn how to read a debugger, set breakpoints, inspect code?
I don't call it like this. That's something I learned at these correspondence seminars in informatics, that it has these names like debugging.
Yeah.
I was just simply, whenever I had a more complicated code, I just put there, print something, and
Yeah, I go there.
I
It's
just
all debugging. It's all debugging.
Yeah.
When did you
It's
learn?
like,
When did you learn?
just by the way,
November?
November, I guess November. I did a horrible thing. I saw a challenge organized by Kiwi. It was a Kiwi challenge with these APIs. And I think I was learning, the deadline was the end of November, I think. So I've been learning Python for, I don't know, 4 weeks. And I made this challenge organized by Kiwi. I had a code of 120 lines. Was very exciting to write this code, and they didn't accept me at that seminar, at that weekend class of Kiwi. They didn't find my code good enough. I could not understand why it was not good enough. It worked as it's supposed. Now I understand. It was silly. My code was silly, but it was working. I remember I was sitting at this was one Saturday at the Digital Academy. We had class on Power BI, and I just didn't want to listen to any Power BI. I just wanted to program in Python and to test those APIs. Yeah, so it's fun.
You are absolutely comfortable. I'm asking because I think
Yeah.
that that's the most crucial point if somebody wants to start programming,
Yeah.
that they run into an error, obviously, 80% of the time.
Yeah.
They panic, they cannot read it, because nobody really taught them how this shit works. So you're comfortable with the errors and working with that?
Yeah.
80%. No?
Yeah, 80%. But the feeling when it finally works is fantastic. Yeah. Yes, yes.
Documentation.
Sorry?
Documentation.
Not really, but I have to. Only when I really have to. Horrible. That's horrible. I should not say it. I didn't say it. Yes.
For me, maybe this is at the beginning of the presentation, I missed that. And so how approximately, you mentioned you were in the job for 5-6 months.
How?
No, I've been, yeah, you mean learning Python, yeah, for 5 months, and I've been working for 2 months now already at company.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then,
I'm sort of
okay,
fresh.
so let me rephrase the question. How long were you learning Python before you started to go to the interviews, and then respectively you see, okay, I was wrong back there because my knowledge was not
Yeah.
up to the level, but
Yeah,
like 3 months,
after no, 1.5 months. 1.5. Yeah, because I started at the end of October, so I was in November, and I think we sent that CV to Red Hat around 10th of December. Yeah, because I was very self-confident. I programmed that Kiwi challenge, so I was really a good programmer, so I could even go and apply for a job in Red Hat. Yeah, so I really wanted to become a programmer, so I was really trying hard. Yeah, whenever, because that's something you must do whenever, because I was not only successful at the job interviews. First interviews were just horrible. I was not good enough, my knowledge was good enough, but you cannot give it up. You just have to learn more. If your knowledge is good enough, you must learn more. Whenever I was not successful at the job interview, I was thinking, okay, should I become a data analyst? And I always decided, no, I don't want to be a fucking data analyst. I wanted to be a programmer.
Well, and a follow-up question. Why the
Yeah.
company is that what you said, okay, for some interviews you didn't get even a feedback that they
Yeah.
didn't, or didn't bother or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I assume some of them provided some feedback or were
No,
asking
no.
if, okay, what areas I did to, okay, what were my weak points, so
Yeah.
this was the
My
thing for you to not accept.
My weakest point was that I didn't have any IT experience in my CV, that I haven't studied VUT or the Faculty of Informatics. That was the weakest point. But the current situation is at the labor market is so that you should try it. You should try it because they don't have candidates for the position, but these companies have a lot of work. So sooner or later you can be successful if you don't give up. So now is the time to change the career path if you really want to. Yes.
Another question regarding your company. We all know that the IT department and IT-related companies, they suffer from too few women in the workplace.
Yeah.
And in order to change that, of course, they're looking also for women. And can you tell us how high is the percentage in your company of women at the workplace in IT-related?
Well, I work for an IT company, so there are not very many people who are not IT people. Okay, so when I went for the first time, or when I went with my manager to have a lunch, coincidentally, at the canteen, there were some of his colleagues who didn't know me yet because that was at the very beginning, and he thought, this is Martina, she's new. And the guy asked me, and you're working for HR? And I said, no, I'm a programmer. So there are not very many. There are not. No. But in my team, we are already 2 women, and there will come a 3rd woman next week. So we will be 3. And we will be in majority thing, I think, because there will be only 2 men and 3 women. It's unbelievable. 60%. It will be 60%. Yes.
Where is the breaking point of the learning on the start? Because so many people on the start of learning programming, they will just learn syntax, they will understand the basic loops and understand. But if you ask them,
write some code, they just like, what do you mean?
Why? Why?
So is it better just to copy another program just to type it, or what is the procedure to get comfortable to write something from your own blank editor? Because it's really hard, even for me, just write something from stuff.
Yeah, then you should see this correspondenční seminary. Because they are nice and challenging tasks. Really, you will like it. If you like programming, you will like it because it's challenging. You will be thinking about it all the time. Well, and then you need to get a job at one company and just to implement what you learned into reality, into real problems. My colleagues say, because I was speaking with them about these recursion problems, about backtracking, it was horrible when I do it. And they said, well, we did this at school, but I never used it at work. So the real problems in real life are just different than these tasks in correspondence course. Yeah.
I want to correct that on the internet are huge competition programming courses or web pages, many, and one of them, for example, I think it's interesting, is Hacker.it, and there you can have also many competition programming, but one of them is Code Arena, and you click of this, and because on this page is thousands, more than thousands people all around the world, it matches you with someone, and you both get the same problem, and you have half an hour to solve this. And you compete with some other guy on the other part of the planet, and it's very interesting. You know, you have only half an hour, and maybe you will win, maybe you lose, but you have to think about it, and you see what do the other guy, because you have some test cases, maybe 10, and you see, hey, his program is solving 2 test cases. Okay? And you know, you only started to code, so nobody is maybe a little bit faster than you. But I think it's good to add it to your daily routine, maybe on the morning for some like workout in programming, half an hour, it's enough, and you can compete with someone, and you have one problem, and you have to solve. And you have on these pages many programming languages in which you can solve this, and you can choose Python. Okay, I choose Python. It doesn't matter if the other guy wants to solve it in Java or something, but who will be faster? Yeah, both have the same program, the same problem, and who will be faster. So it's very competing, very motivating, and time-bounded. So you know you don't spend more than half an hour on this, so because time is up. Yeah. So I think it's very good to add to your daily routine, and after 1 month, 2 months, you will say, wow, it's amazing what I did and how progress was. Yeah, so I really recommend this. Yeah.
What was the page?
Hacker.it. Yeah, bold, Hacker.it. Hacker země. Jako prostě, si to nebaví. Jo, Hacker.it. And then you have also many new pages, if you know Coursera or edX. There are many on machine learning, on Python, or everything. So, but yeah, I tried most of them, but I think Hacker.it is very motivating and competitive. So I recommend it because when you at this half an hour your daily routine, you can grow very fast.
Okay. Are there any questions? No.
Right, so we're done with this presentation. Is there anyone who would like to have a lightning talk? That's a short talk under 5 minutes, and you can have one without any announcement. No lightning talks? Alright, so, oh, there was someone over here? Right, so maybe there will be one, so we'll have a break. Otherwise, it's networking. So feel free to grab beer, to chat with each other, chat with me, and